Assalamualaikum and very good evening. We are from Group 1. We would like to present one type of non-destructive testing, which is visual testing. So my name is Habibul Zikri bin Ajman. My metric number is 195958. I will talk about the introduction of non-destructive testing, and I will also talk about what is the visual testing basically. Okay, so this is the table of our contents, which is we will talk about the intro, what, how, and the other thing. So the first one is about the introduction of non-destructive testing, which is NDT. So NDT is the process of inspecting, testing, or evaluating materials, components, or assemblies for discontinuities or differences in characteristic without destroying the serviceability of the part or of the system. In other words, when the inspection or test is completed, the part is still can be used. Okay, so nowadays, non-destructive test is always used in manufacturing, fabrication, and in-service inspection to ensure product integrity and reliability. It is to control manufacturing processes, lower production costs, and to maintain a uniform quality level. During the construction, NDT is used to ensure the quality of materials and joining processes during the fabrication and erection phases. And in service NDT inspection, it is uh, it is used to ensure that the product is used continue to have the integrity necessary to ensure their usefulness and the safety of the public. Okay, so the next is we talk about the visual testing, which is one of the type from the non-destructive testing, because destructive testing, there is many type of that. So for the visual testing, as we know, this is the oldest and most basic method of inspection. It is also the process of looking over a piece of equipment using the naked eye to look for flaws. It requires no equipment except the naked eye of trained inspector. So visual inspection is simple and less technologically advanced compared to the other method. Despite this, it still has several advantages over more high other technology method. Compared to other method, it is far more cost effective. This is because there is no equipment that is required to perform it. For similar reason, it also one of the easiest inspection techniques to perform. It al- it it is also one of the most reliable techniques. A well-trained inspector can detect most sign of damage. Okay, so this is basically this is the example of the equipment, which is videoscope, advanced videoscope, uh, boroscope, microscope, and magnifying glass. So this is just the basic principle of the visual testing. So for the next part, I will pass to my friend, which is Faris. Thank you.
Thank you, Habibul Zikri. So, before I start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Zulkifli. With my metric number is 198736. So, as we all know, Habibul Zikri already explained about the introduction and the what part. So, I will be explaining on how and when what. So, what is the meaning by how is how the visual test is work. So basically, there are 5 parts five basic elements of the visual test. First of all, we need to know the test object. As we all know, it's a test for we see something, so it is important for there to be an object. Second is the inspector, which means who will be the one in charge of to do the visual test. The third one is the optical instruments. In this part, optical instrument will be an aid to help the inspector to do the job. And the fourth one is the illumination, which is the light, which is important so they can see from the visual. And the last one is the recording. So in this part, which means is the recording, so they can save or record what they have seen and to make a report about the visual test. Next, this is some example of the optical instrument that which can aid in the visual test, which are mirrors, magnifying, microscopes, boroscopes, endoscopes, telescopes, holography, optical comparators, CCTV, flexible fiber optic boroscopes, and last but not least, computer enhanced system. I'm sorry. So I'll go to the process. In this part, I will explain to you guys that the process is how someone can be the inspector for the visual test to they will send the result of the visual test to be reported. First, before visual testing, someone or the personnel are given the basic near vision acuity and a color recognition screening test. This near vision measurement are recorded for each eye and for both eyes, which means so the angle of view. So in the process, the angle of view is very important while in the process of visual testing, especially when quantitative information want to be obtained. So it is essential that the inspectors attempt to observe the object surface at the axis of the eye. The angle view always should not be more than 45 degrees from the normal. The period of time during which the human inspector is permitted to do the work is usually limited to about 2 hours on a continuous basis. This to avoid errors of visual reliability and discrimination. So there are also several integrated visual testing variables beyond equating near vision acuity to performance, including lighting, knowledge of pattern recognition, orientation of test object, psychology factors, and test instructions. So all of this, they will record what they see, and they record by using the aid or from their optical instruments, and the result will be reported. The result of visual test will be reported and will be submitted. Perhaps if there is some problem, it will told the workers to be repaired. I'm sorry. So the next part is I will explain when is the usual visual test will be used this visual test. So as you guys know, visual test is occurred in 3 stages: before the process, during the process, and after the process. So before the process, what process? It means that what they do, such as welding or any project they have to do. So before the process, the visual test will be done. They will do the visual test so to inspect the material and to confirm the review or for the process to start their work. This stage is to specify that the test object can be used. So which means that they will review the object, and if the object can be used, there is no loophole or there's no crack on it, so they can use so they can start their work or the welding perhaps. So during the process, so the next stage is during the process, which means during the work. So this stage is to inspect the process. The inspector will be inspect the process, and the Prime Minister will respect to the procedure given, which means that while the other is doing the welding or the worker doing the another job, the inspector for the process of the one who have who will be part to take a visual test will be inspect what all the material while they doing their job, so it will be more careful. And for the last stage, which is after the process, this is important for the inspector, we call it, so because they need to complete the visual inspection. So any surface, if there are surface breaking or defect, it should be repaired as per approved by procedure. This process is important, so because it can verify the presence or absence of crack, perhaps corrosions, and other form of in-service material degradations. I think that's all for my part. I will give to my partner to speak about why and who should this visual test do. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Noair. Okay, I will explain about why and who. So the why part is about why the non-destructive technique is widely used in the whole world. Either it is big or small company, they will use NDT visual to do inspection. So the first reason is the advantage of the inspection method. It is very reliable technique to perform, and the inspection component is in a safe condition. What I mean in safe condition is the part that has been tested will be left undamaged. Next point is inexpensive. NDT visual does not involve expensive equipment. Actually, the equipment that used is cheap and also can be used again and again. Also, standard does not require labor that other methods require, such as radiographic. The method require not only one person skills. So next is the simple method. The simple method here means for the operator, it is very harmless to them. It is a very safe testing and easy to carry out because only very little preparation needed to perform this NDT compared to like radiographic. There is a very strict condition and rules to be followed so that the radiographic will be performed at good condition. Lastly, it is easy to train and portable. What I mean about portable is the part that need to be used in NDT is easy to carry because it is small and highly portable, so it is easy to carry. And about high skill not required is only minimum skills required, because it is easy to train people that even if you have very low skills on handling stuff and electronic devices, you can perform this. And last point is, it is very little, or I can say no cleanup needed or required after the testing is done. So next, about who. Who is, I will explain about where this entity visual is applied, and who the field that use this entity technique. First is offshore oil and gas. This part is highly used there, because constant checkup is always required to maintain the equipment in good condition. Next is shipping. Third, civil engineering and infrastructure also use this entity technique. And lastly, the machine building and steel construction. For machine building and steel construction, they will use it to maintain their equipment in good condition. Also, when the production, in the end of production, they will do check up of the quality using this entity technique. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, I am Aliuddin Anwar. I'm going to conclude all of the points that presented by my group members regarding the non-destructive testing about visual, or known as NDTV. Okay. As the conclusion, we can tell that the visual testing with non-destructive testing method is the observing the component with the naked eye to evaluate the presence of surface discontinuous. With this method, there are a few advantages can be seen from what had been presented. The first one is the NDTV is a very simple method to perform. So because of it is very simple one, because it is very simple, one can execute any task using the method very quickly. It also only need low cost method because of the minimal training and equipment needed in this method. However, we also can consider the disadvantages on this method. The NDTV requires training to perform since it requires a good eyesight. I know that before this I mentioned that the NDTV are minimal in training, but that's for people with a good eyesight, or a medium performance eyesight. Yeah, for the people with bad eyesight, it is necessary for them to have a training, otherwise their task couldn't finish and ended up in a bad shape. The method also need to be run very careful because the error are open to human error. Yeah, that's all from me and from us. Thank you.